Questions for Tony Elliott?
Tony, this is Matt. Just how would you judge the offensive performance today? Just first thoughts walking off the field.
Really, really proud of our guys because, we prepared for who we thought they were going to be, and they came out in a structure that was completely different than what we've seen. And really only seen them do that one other time, and that was last year versus UCF. So I thought the guys did a good job of settling in, especially in the second half, and doing what they needed to do because structurally they weren't going to give us the big play. They were going to make us be patient. So proud that they found a way, to win the game, to do what was necessary. But we just still leaving too many points on the, too many points on the field. You look at the situation, it felt kind of like we were playing an option team just from a number of possessions. We had 8 possessions outside the last one there coming off the goal line. And we put together some good drives. We just didn't finish, and 2 times in the red zone, we had a fumble and we got stopped on fourth down. So, proud of the fact that we were solid on third down for the most part, and it could have been even better. No sacks. So there's some positives to build off of, but also there's going to be some things that we can learn and grow from.
Hey Tony, it's David Hood. When you look at it, 17 points in 8 quarters against 2 Power 5 teams, is it offensive line? Is it DJ? Is it wide receivers not getting separation? Is it not taking shots down the field? Is it a little bit of everything? I think the turnovers and then just critical mistakes and not coming up with plays. We had a play there in the first half where with receivers coming open, we triggered just a little bit quick on third down, which would extend a drive. And then you had a situation there in the second half, where we get a ball to Ross and we don't come down with it. So it's a combination of a lot of things, but in particular this game, if you looked at structurally what they were doing is they said, we're going to sit back and we're going to give you a 3-man front and we're going to drop 8 in the coverage. So we're not going to give you anything over the top, right? We're going to see if you can be patient. And so our whole game plan had to switch once we saw that they came out and structurally we're going to be different than what we were anticipating. Very, very different than how they were versus last year. And then what we've seen coming outside of Kennesaw State is a triple option team.
Tony, this is Grace Rayner with The Athletic. Just what went into the decision to not putting DJ under center there at the end of the game?
Coach talked about in that situation, we wanted to see if we could try and draw him off sides. We haven't been a much under center team, in the past. And so we were going to do what we did and we hand the ball off. We get out. We just happen to fumble it. We hold on to that ball. We get out of the end zone there and the game's over. And then also, too, that was a situation where the discussion is, do you take a slow safety there? And they kick it off with only 7 seconds. So the biggest thing for us is we try to draw them offside that first play, took the delay of game, and then came back and just say, let's do what we do, and we're a shotgun team, and we hand the ball off.
Coach Elliott, CRS. Thoughts on how the offense was able to battle and regroup in the second half, and what's your mindset and plan going forward after a tough night like this one?
So we came in at halftime and basically, we had to regroup. Really, really proud of the staff. Thought that it was a growing moment for us to come together, especially with some new guys on the staff, being in an adverse situation there. But had 3 possessions, and we're driving on that first possession and we don't convert that 3rd and 4th. Then we go down and have a 12-play drive for a touchdown. Then we're on another 12-play drive after that, and we fumble in the red zone. So really, really proud of how they responded. We asked DJ, we said, hey, in this situation, you got to give us an extra hat. I thought he came in and he ran the ball well. We actually had the conversion on the short yardage situation before we fumbled it. So proud of the heart of these young men. And it's an opportunity for us to grow and get better as a team and, give us some confidence and understanding that, hey, their plan was to not give us the big play and see can we be patient. And for the most part, we did that. But we also played into their hand a little bit with the 4th down stop that we didn't convert there. And then the other turnover in the red zone.
Hey, Tony, this is Anna with Clemson 24/7. Just talking about not giving up the big play. How would you assess how the offensive line did?
From a protection standpoint, when we did need to throw it, we had solid protection there. And then they just settled in. And what they were planning on doing is try to get leverage on our offensive line and create a lot of single blocks. And then they were moving around, slanting and angling where you got to catch the movement. Then the linebackers were up there close, in particular after the first couple of drives. And they got guys standing right on the edge of the box, and trying to make you get flat. So I thought the guys did a good job of just handling the situation and finding a way, when the game was on the line to come up with the drives to put us in position. We just got to finish. If we finish two of those drives there with points, especially in the red zone, it's a little bit different feeling coming out of the game.
Tony, this is Larry Williams. So what was the thought process there on the 1 yard line, going from the shotgun instead of under center?
Right. So as I answered that question earlier, is just we've been, how many times have you seen us up on the center? We just been a shotgun team, and we do what we do, and the biggest thing there was not risking we hadn't been on the center all game and risking a fumble snap right there. And then again, we tried to draw them off sides, see could we steal 5 yards, and they jumped a little bit, but not far enough into the neutral zone. We took a delay. And then we came back, we handed the ball off, and actually we're out of the end zone. Just young backs going to grow from that situation. We don't secure it. We fumble it back into the end zone, and it results in a safety. So biggest thing is, we've been a shotgun team. That's what we do. And that'll be something that we'll have to assess going forward as well. A learning opportunity for us as a staff.
Hey, Tony, twofold.
All right, go ahead.
Twofold question. First off, on that front, was there any consideration given into like a fly pattern and throwing the ball out of bounds on that final, snap in the end zone? And then secondly, what do you see from DJ mechanically that you think he needs to clean up?
The first part of the question, that wasn't really something that we discussed in that situation. And the biggest thing, for DJ is just, constantly working on his footwork in the pocket, making sure that he's not throwing off balance, that he's not leaning away from his throws, just keeping his front shoulder locked in on his target. He missed a couple throws. Like to see him do a little better job on that back shoulder throw, and then that third down throw that we missed there in the first half on the post route or the slant route that Joe was coming open on.
Tony, this is Matt. Were you disappointed at all that you weren't able to have more success rushing the ball with them dropping 8 in the covers?
Well, we knew that if it took us having 4 yards in a cloud of dust, that's what we needed to do to find a way. Because the biggest thing was, they were trying to bait us into. If you watch, they were doing a lot of different things. They were showing press, they were bailing, and they were trapping, and they were squatting. They were doing a lot of things to try and confuse the young quarterback in the passing game. Again, they probably half the game, if not more. They were dropping 8 guys into coverage, and then again they were moving that front. So that you couldn't really had them up like the way you wanted to, and then they were peeling you off any double teams. So obviously you'd love to come out of that game, and have a ton of yards rushing the football. But at the same time too, we said coming out of the half, so let's be effective. But if it's 4 yards in a cloud of dust, let's try to figure out how we can target these guys. Had them up and just keep moving the chains. And proud of the way the guys bought into that coming out of the second half. And they found a way to score enough points. But also, too, it's a great learning opportunity that when we get into the red zone, we got to be able to put points on the board.
Tony, any thought of just even with the covers that they were playing, just trying to take a shot downfield and seeing if some of the guys could win some of those matchups, going up and making a play, even if they were dropping 8 in the covers?
Right, and we took a couple shots down the field, but at the same time too, then we're just trying to stay efficient and effective and ahead of the chains too. So you take a shot, maybe you get a PI, maybe you convert a play, but then also too, man, they were squatting hard, changing some of your coverage reads, at the line of scrimmage. So it was a lot of cat and mouse. Hats off to Georgia Tech. They had a good plan. They stuck with their plan. Caught us I wouldn't say caught us off guard, but it was definitely different than what we were expecting going into the game plan. It was a totally different structure, and it took us a little while to get adjusted. And then once we finally settled in on, with the delay and everything, when we settled in on what the plan was going forward, we stuck with the plan, and it ended up, providing a situation where we could score just enough more points than that.
Hey, Tony, it's David. It looked like after you started running DJ a little bit there in the third quarter, he started to get comfortable. Do you wish it maybe called some more designed runs a little earlier for him? And is he making the right read on the RPO? Because it looked like a couple times in the first half, he maybe should have just pulled it and run a little bit.
The RPO game was tough too, because just structurally, they were running some trap coverage, which fools you because they're giving you some possible looks where you could pull it and think you got to throw, and the next thing you know, the corner's in between the receiver, and so now some of your outlet screens are not there. And again, biggest thing is we had 5 possessions in the first half. The first 2, man, we're moving the ball. played field position on the first one, then we scored a touchdown, then we come back and, didn't do anything on that 3 and out. And so, probably could have got to the quarterback run maybe a little bit earlier. But the biggest thing for us was just, okay, let's see if they're going to stick with this structure before we change everything. And then once we had an opportunity to get together as a staff and discuss it and figure out what the best plan forward was, that's when we decided, hey, we're going to have to run the football to win this game. And, it's all hands on deck.
Tony, this is Grace again with The Athletic. Has Will Shipley done enough to win this job at this point?
That'll be something that we go back and we assess. Proud of him. I thought he ran physical, ran hard. I know he's going to want that one play back there coming off the goal line where he fumbled the ball, but he continues to run hard and show that, man, he needs to be in consideration. And we'll evaluate that as a staff, have our discussion in our personnel meeting on Sunday, and then move forward and allow CJ to kind of manage that room.
Tony, where do you feel like this offense is right now, just from a confidence standpoint? Do you feel like it's still there, still lacking, needs to be improved?
I'm hoping that the guys draw a lot of confidence from this game. It was a situation that they hadn't been in before, man. They were really challenged. There was a lot of adversity, and they found a way to overcome, the adversity. I think that you can learn from this game that, hey, they challenged us to be able to run the ball to try and find a way to win. And, we were able to take what was there and put together a plan to give us a chance to be successful. I think that the guys, man, they got a great chemistry. Still some spots where we got to do better, and that's at all positions. And so I think these guys have the confidence to know that, hey, we need to go back to work, and we're going to own, all the things that we need to correct. And all we're going to do is put our head down. We're going to block out all the noise, and we're going to focus on what we can control and try and get better and figure out how to go 1-0 next week.
Take one more for Coach Elliott. On that shovel pass, the fourth down shovel pass that was kind of there in the first half, it looked like maybe that was on the offensive line, a couple of the guards. We stopped penetration. It
was a stalemate by the tight end there on the edge, and we needed the guard that was pulling around to wrap a little bit tighter. He wraps a little bit tighter, then he's gonna find that scraping backer, and then Shipley's gonna be able to make him right with the cut.
All right, thank you, Coach Elliott.
All right. Thank you. All right, Ship, though.